Hey everyone, I'm Rabbi Shmuel Pollan, and on this channel we use ancient Jewish wisdom to understand and solve the problems of today. And thank God we've got a lot of problems to work with. Today we're going to turn our attention to the problem of internet hate. Internet hate ruins lives, and if they don't ruin your life, they will make it more miserable. Usually the hate is from strangers, and it's going to be important to keep that in mind. Sometimes the hate is coming from friends who you thought cared about you, and that means you're lucky because you just found out that that wasn't your friend at all. Clarity about your friends is a good thing. It leads to fewer people stabbing you in the back. We have two issues before us. Number one, we want to know how we can become immune to the hate, because if it doesn't bother us, it's just a bunch of words. And when you don't react, people are more likely to stop knocking on your door. Number two, the second issue is how to stop the hate and turn the internet into a loving place. You might not think this is possible, but with God, anything is possible. The change starts now. It starts right here on this video, as you'll see. First, how not to be affected. Let's give an example of a hate comment so we have something tangible to work with. I wrote a book called All In for God. I made a lot of controversial statements in it. Some disagree and think it's stupid. Others agree and think it's brilliant. It's well written, and I dare to think thoughts that are simply not allowed in the classroom. In my opinion, it's a brilliant book, and I've debated atheists regarding this book and won. You can read the first few pages of the book and see that it's very interesting and well written, but that's not what this comment would have you believe. His review, which is the first review, is called Dangerous. So he thinks this book is dangerous to people. I like that because it means that as an atheist, it's dangerous to him because it threatens his worldview. Then he starts in with the hate. He writes, "This book contains level of pure insanity. The rabbi, R-A-B-I, I didn't know it was spelled like that made this absurd work does not believe in food, science, light, or mathematics, but does believe in shaman, magic, that you are God, and that God is profoundly evil. The best thing about it is that it makes you feel like you've taken a hit of acid, as the book is just that off the rails. Don't know something? Ask a baby. Babies know the answer. According to this book, we start off as hyper-intelligent gods of knowledge and just get more and more stupid as time goes on. Time is not real. Earth is flat. The sun revolves around the earth. And you all know this, it's science. Confused by the book, I dare you to read this tripe and not think of The Room or something that is ironically hilarious." Now that's a hateful comment. In his comment, he basically took whatever he wanted my book to say and then made that sound stupid. It's the definition of a straw man argument. But it's not necessary to do what I'm doing right now. Your job is not to debunk the comments that you get. Your job is to not let the comment bother you. Let them go and go on with your day with the same happiness and power that you started with, i.e., it will get you down for a moment, but if you listen to the wisdom that I'm going to share, you'll be able to recover in a matter of seconds, and your day goes on, and your productivity is undeterred, and you keep creating and providing value to your audience. Now, here's what you need to understand. A hateful comment is a virus, and you are the computer. It gets into your mind, and suddenly your mind is not working properly. And I'll tell you how it's not working. Because they made you, for a minute, forget who you are. You are the creator, and they are the commenter. So there's only one creator, and all the comments come into existence because of you. You are the top 1%. You are the one who is changing the world. With your book, with your video, or your tweet. You are the brave one. You put your neck out on the line to say what you think needs to be said. You are a hero. God is called a creator, and you are a partner with him in creation. So, if you are the source of the entire page and part of the 1%, why are you listening to the bottom 99%, which is really the bottom of the 99%? It's because you come into this with two options, and a Hasidic story will help us understand the anatomy of what's going on when we get hurt by a comment. Rabbi Yossi Jacobson, a junior Hasidic rabbi, came to a senior Hasidic rabbi for advice. He was the great Adin Steinholtz. Jacobson complained to him that people had been critical of one of his talks and he was really hurting from it. Steinholtz then asked him, "These people who criticized you, are they people you would ask for advice?" Jacobson said, "Of course not." Then Steinholtz said, "Well, if you wouldn't take their advice, why do you take their advice on how you should view yourself?" See, when we get hurt by comments, we're actually not hurt by the comment. We're hurt because the comment made us change the way that we view ourselves. Now we think we're a bad person. Why? Because they said so. Would you take their opinion on anything else in the world? No. But you take their opinion on this. You take their opinion on the most important aspect of yourself, your self-image. You let them define your self-image. And there is only one person who should be able to decide your self-image, and that is you. You can and should think only the greatest things about yourself. You should be open to criticism and always striving to be better. In general, you should always consider your strong points more than your negative points, and you should always view yourself with rosy glasses. Why? Because you can, and the greater you think you are, the greater you will become. Nobody, especially a stranger, should have any say about how you view yourself. You have to have your own view of yourself, and that was the view you had before the comment when you were doing just fine. Or you can adopt their view of yourself. Doing that is like giving your 10-year-old the keys to the car. Think about this. You have a whiteboard in your mind that tells you what you think of yourself. If there's good stuff written on there, you'll feel good. If there's bad stuff written on there, you'll feel bad. So I ask you, who should be allowed to write on that whiteboard? Bought a whiteboard just so I can show you that you could have an actual whiteboard that you look at. And when you look at the comment, you look at the comment and then you look at the whiteboard. So the comment says this about me, and the whiteboard says this about me. And you look at the comment, you look at the whiteboard, you look back and forth, and you realize, hey, I should really look at what I say about me, not what they say about me. So, and these are actually quotes from people about me that I want to just read to you so you can see what's on my whiteboard. And it says, in quotes, extraordinary, smart, funny, creative, musical, talented, cool, eclectic, worldly, sensitive, genuine, loving, never gets angry. That's my favorite from my daughter. Never gets angry, from Sarla Pollen. So you have to have a board in your mind or an actual board, and every time you get a comment and you're hurt by it, look at the board and say, why am I giving my opinion of myself over to this person I don't even know when I have the opinion of all these people who do know me much better? You and only you have the right to decide who you are. This is the most private and personal thing in the world. It will define who you are. It will define how successful you will become. So what you want to do is take any compliment you ever got and put that on your board and leave the insults off. Make sure the board is neat and clean and has only the positive feedback that you ever got. So when you look at the comment, you have that choice. You can look at the board and you can look at the comment and say, this person doesn't even know me. Maybe I should adopt a view of myself represented by the compliments from people who do know me, and it can also be filled with compliments that you give to yourself, because what you think of yourself matters. It's actually the only thing that really matters. And you can think anything you want of yourself. You can think the best of yourself, and you should. Getting over hate is simply about making a choice about who you want to believe. To believe the people who love you, including yourself, or to believe the people who are intentionally trying to hurt you. So getting hurt is a choice. Understand that at any moment you can take away the pain by simply making another choice to believe another person over the opinion of a stranger. And we'll later talk about more reasons why you shouldn't trust this stranger with your self-image or anything else. There's another concept you must understand which is pretty deep. Are you ready for a deep dive? Okay, here we go. The Jewish sages always said, be careful how you interpret a dream, because however you interpret it is how it will turn out. And really, all of life is like that. Things aren't good or bad until we label them as good or bad. So if you're wondering if your video or your book or your post is good or bad, there's no answer. The answer is it's neutral until people decide that it's good or bad. It's just like a buff guy strutting around Venice Beach. Mr. A says, look at how disciplined he must be. What a hard worker. I admire him. Mr. B says, what a jackass. He's probably on roids and he's got no testicles. He looks at himself in the mirror all day. What a narcissist. Look, folks, it's the exact same guy, and you have two totally opposite opinions. So is this buff guy good or bad? The answer is he's neutral until somebody declares that he's good or bad. This is a key point because it means you don't have to worry about if you're good looking or if a flaw is making you ugly. There's really no such thing as ugly. It's a judgment call. Everybody decides what's ugly for themselves.
You know what? I was thinking about taking a shower. I'm stinking like a dog over here.
I like the way you stink.
Let me take this jacket off.
I was looking at myself in the mirror.
Uh-huh.
I wish I had a pot.
You were looking at yourself in the mirror and you wish you had some pot?
A pot. A pot belly. Pot bellies are sexy.
She thinks pot bellies are sexy. And if you think she's wrong, you just don't know how reality works. Everything is neutral until a judgment is made by man or by God. And your tweet is a judgment call too. It's neutral until somebody says something about it. And you choose who to believe when they start talking. If you understand this, in this way you will learn to love everything you put out. Because it's your choice whether to love it or not. And nobody can say you're wrong because it's really neutral. If it came from you, you should love it because you love yourself. And who is anyone to tell you different? Why? Because they judged it in a different way? That makes them right? There is no right. There's just some who enjoy it and some who don't. And you get to decide if you enjoy it or not, so you can decide if it's good. Now, let's go even deeper into this. Ready? People say that if they hate you, they must hate themselves. This is a nice comment, but it's not actually true. People can hate you without hating themselves. It happens all the time. What is true is the degree to which they hate you is a direct reflection of how much evil there is in their soul. So, if they hate you a lot, they have a lot of evil in their soul. If they hate you a little, they have a little evil in your soul. And if they love you, there's only good in their soul. And the reason for this is as follows. According to Jewish wisdom, you can know if God loves you based on how much you love life. How much do you love the people around you? How much do you love the things that happen to you? Because like we said, the world is neutral, so that means it's a mirror. So if someone looks at you and finds negativity, the negativity they find is not actually in you. The negativity is actually in them. They're seeing their own negativity in the mirror and it's reflecting back to them. They think it's about you. It's actually about them. They have evil in their soul because they don't like reality itself. And God doesn't love them for that reason. So they see evil in you, but they're not actually seeing your evil. They're seeing the evil that they're projecting onto you, onto the mirror, and then back to themselves. You are the mirror. Don't forget that. You are neutral. Don't forget that. I saw a comment about a Hindu guru, and he said that I used to think that he was arrogant, but then I realized he's a mirror. Truer words have never been spoken. Everyone is a mirror. So if you want to understand these commenters, you can analyze them easily. You see, you know that you're a mirror. You know the more hateful the person is, that is how much hate they're going to produce in the comments. The more evil they have in their heart, the more hate they will produce. So the guy who leaves the nastiest comment has the worst attitude on life. He is full of evil in his soul. He's dripping with it. And that's why everywhere they look, they see bad. But it's actually the bad in themselves, not the bad in you. So now, let's go back to the comment here. This guy left the most hateful comment he possibly could. Before you watch this video, you would probably give this guy the most attention. You would give him the right to write on your whiteboard. Give him all the power to decide your mood for the day and decide how your life goes. When in reality, this guy is the bottom of the 99%. He's the most hateful guy. He's got the worst perspective on life. That's why he sees negativity in what is really a very nice book. He will see negativity in everything he encounters because the negativity is in himself. So when your eyes are open like they are now, you say, wait a minute, this is the absolute last guy I should take advice from. Not the first, but the last. If you watch this video a couple of times and let these insights sink in, you will treat comments like these the way they deserve to be treated, with no attention paid at all. You should not care because it's a very evil person with an evil perspective on life. And they'll project that evil not just on you, but on everything that they see. Okay, now that you're not affected by the hate, let's put a stop to the hate once and for all, shall we? We all saw the meltdown of Kanye West. He has a secret talent he's been keeping from the world. It's the talent of being a Nazi, also known as being one of the most hateful a-holes on the face of the planet. And we're glad that we know this about him, because now we know who we're dealing with. We now know this is never someone we should have respected. He showed his true colors because of his illness, and we should be happy now that we know who not to look up to. For people who like what he said, you're just as nuts as he is, and we want to know that too. But we can learn something from everyone. Before Kanye went off the rails, he did say one smart thing, and in manic episodes, people can say some smart things. In an interview with Tucker Carlson, he said, everywhere where there's a Planned Parenthood and babies are going to be killed on the regular, let's buy the property across the street and turn it into an adoption center. This at least gives the mother a choice. She can choose life or she can choose death, but at least the choice is available. So, here's the deal. I'm bringing this Kanye West idea to the internet because the internet is full of hate. That means people are being hurt left and right. Creators are being hurt literally left and right, from the right wing to the left wing. If you saw someone hurt in the street, you would help them, right? So why don't we help them when they're hurting on the internet? Does an insult hurt less when it's on the internet than it does in real life? Of course not. If you see a hate comment and you just walk by, you're violating a biblical prohibition, and the biblical prohibition is do not stand idly by your brother's blood. When someone is embarrassed, blood moves to their face. That's called spilled blood. It's like a mini murder. So don't just see the hate comment. Put a positive comment right below it. That way, when the creator looks at the comments, they have the choice. Do I want to believe the positive guy? Do I want to believe the hateful guy with the bad attitude? If every hate comment was countered by a positive comment, the internet would be a lovely place to be. Let's make that happen together right now. It will take a little extra effort to make these little positive comments that lift the day of the creator so they can keep doing what they do best. Everything of value requires effort. Light will dominate over darkness. So I'm asking people to take the challenge. If you do, I'm asking you to comment on this video with the words, I accept. Saying I accept means you will try to make a positive comment under any negative comment that you see. It doesn't take more than a few seconds to just say, hey, I actually really like that video. And you don't know the power of that. You may have just changed the course of the creator's life. Creators rock. Don't ever stop what you're doing, left or right. This world needs creators, and it doesn't really need commenters. Realize how important you are. Go forth and spread light to all corners of the globe. I look forward to thousands of people saying, I accept, and becoming keyboard warriors for the good. May the internet become a place that lifts us up and never brings us down. May it ooze with love and acceptance and peace. And may this bring the final redemption through our righteous Messiah. Amen. God bless.